Yo, what is going on, guys? Today getting back here with the Vitacci XMT 250 that I got from txpowersports.com, and basically I just want to talk about some of the minor mods that I've done to this bike, and also to show you some of the maintenance that you need to do to keep it running properly. And well, one of them is that I changed the mirrors. As you guys can tell, these are way better, and the links of all these accessories are being left down below, so make sure you check the description to look at the links. So that was one of the first things I did, because with the stock ones I will mainly see my shoulders and not the traffic around me, which was a little bit of a safety concern. So with these I am able to see everything, and they are fabulous, guys. Another little thing I did here is add a phone holder. This phone holder is about 30 bucks, and it works very nicely. It has a little quick release tab here on the side. If you undo it, your phone slides out very quickly, and then when you put your phone in, you simply lift it and it is nice and firm on there. The second thing I did was replace the stock chain. It stretches like a bungee cord, and it is not safe at all. I had to adjust it at least 3 times in less than 60 miles. So that's when I upgraded to this one, and this is the first time that I have to tighten up this chain after about 250 miles, which indicates that yes, this is a much better quality chain. Also, I did the kickstand just because this one is a little bit more elongated, and it makes the bike be a little bit more upright. And many people complained that the screws come loose, so to fix that, all you have to do is just add a little bit of thread locker, and it fixes the issue entirely. With this kickstand, I haven't had one issue yet. Another mod I did was the fender delete. This one fits to the dot from the Honda CB150R. The fender delete from that bike fits this bike 100%. You don't have to modify anything. All the screws align properly, and I kept the original turn signals, the lights from the original one that was here, and this I kept it aftermarket because it fits a lot better. I couldn't fit the OEM one, but as you guys can tell, it looks a lot different. The tip mat sensor is located right here. I haven't had to change it on this particular bike. It's been behaving great, and this is a counterbalance motor, so there's almost no vibrations when you're riding this bike. At least I don't feel any on the handlebars, guys, which is super nice. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start here with the spark plug. You have to remove this side panel in order to access the spark plug, and basically you grab a size number 5 Allen. You can either do the tool or the socket, and you remove this panel. It has about 3 of them. There we go. We remove the panel, and on the inner side you're gonna have one more. Remove it, and this panel on the upper side is held by 2 rounded little rubber pieces that are attached to this fairing on the gas tank, so you kind of have to like push it towards the inner side a little bit. There we go. You can see one right here. We have another one on this side. You're gonna have to apply some pressure, and bam, it comes off just like this, guys. Now with an extension, you can now go ahead and remove the coil from the spark plug. And now, of course, from here, you would just grab the proper size socket for the spark plug, and you can access it right from this little opening right here. And this is why I mentioned that you have to remove this cowling in order to change the spark plug. I got the Iridium 2202, and it fits right on, and it makes the bike start a lot better in cold starts. For the oil change, you're gonna need a socket 17 socket with the extension, and also remove here the fill plug. You have to remove it so that everything flows a little bit better. It's always recommended that you warm up the bike for at least a minute or two. And in this case, I'm using some leftover oil that I had for my CF Moto. This is a 10W50. They recommend a 10W40, but this is okay. I already added this on here and it did just fine. And it takes roughly about 800 milliliters, but since we have the oil cooler, it is recommended to add a little bit more. So I am putting the 1000 milliliters. So yes, I'm putting basically the whole thing on there, because once you run the bike, by the time this gets filled, which is the oil cooler, then you're going to be low on oil here. So let's grab the 17, and the drain plug, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it is located right there. It's like right in the middle. So when you see this little window, you're going to find it right here on the middle side. Not too difficult to find. And so now we grab our socket. We might need a longer extension, I think. There you go, we just got it loose. Now we simply undo it with our hands. Make sure you have your pan ready, and boom, there it comes. Now this one has no oil reset and it has no filter. It does have a little magnetic drain plug, as you guys can tell, and it got a little bit dirty. So it did, you can see the wear. There is a little bit of metal residue on it. So we're gonna grab a paper towel and actually get it cleaned up. Now this is normal since we did the break-in, and after this, most likely you're gonna see a little bit of this metal shaving, but it's not terrible. I can tell you that. It was just a little bit. Again, it is 100% normal, guys. Okay, so we got this pretty much cleaned. If you happen to have a compressor like this, then you can clean it even further to get rid of all the residue. Check that out. That looks like brand new. We are ready to fill the oil. Don't forget to put the plug back on there, and let's add those 1000 milliliters. And that's it. Our oil has been replaced. Well, we're gonna go ahead and adjust the chain. Now this is a 24 millimeter nut, and the head on this side is also a 24 millimeters. You're gonna need either some pliers to hold this side, the one without the nut. In my case, I do have a 24 millimeter wrench, so we're gonna use this to hold this side. And with the 24 millimeter socket, we're gonna go ahead and loosen it up like so. By the way, before we do this, let me show you the slack currently. It has to be at about 20 millimeters. Now, I don't know if you guys are handy with mechanical stuff, but me, by just looking at it, I can tell that it needs just a little bit of adjustment. Right now it has about 25, maybe 30 millimeters of play. We had to stretch it a little bit, maybe half a turn on the nuts back here to properly tighten this up. But yes, there is a little bit of play, and like I said, this is my first stretching or my first adjustment with this particular chain after 250 miles. There we go. That's good enough. Now, if you're only adjusting it, you don't have to take the whole thing out. Simply make sure that it is loose enough, and then you're gonna need two size 14 millimeter wrenches in order to loosen up the nuts back here. Just got one done. I like to take the whole thing out. Okay, and then we're gonna do the same thing on this side. Take the other one out. There we go. And bam. Now we can simply adjust the chain accordingly. You grab one and then you go clockwise. Check the adjustment. Maybe slightly more. Check the adjustment again. roll it, make sure you check it in different positions, and right there it is, guys. Like I said, I have proper tools to measure the millimeters. You can do that, but in my case, I have that feeling already. I know what 20 millimeters is by just feeling it, and that's pretty good right there. You could do maybe a little bit of a turn right there. Now let's do the same thing on this side. And there is a line right in here that kind of guides you where you need to be for this to be properly leveled. You can even loosen this up a little more if you have to, and then kind of move this thing around just to get a better feel. But right there, guys, it looks pretty good to me. Once everything is properly adjusted, to get it tightened again, don't use the impact gun, because sometimes it kind of likes to make this run over to the backside a little bit, at least on the side where the brake is. So what you want to do is kind of like push it forward on this side now, and then with your socket, just get it tightened little by little, like so. This will ensure that it doesn't roll back. Now there are no torque specs for this back here, unfortunately. Once you're done with that, make sure that you kind of like tighten this a little bit on both sides. Perfect. Now we insert the locking nut on each side as well. We're going to do basically everything in reverse. You hold the inner one, and then with the other wrench you tighten up, so that way they remain locked. Perfect. And now we do the same on this side as well. Perfect. That's it. Now it rolls beautifully, as you can tell, and the slack is about perfect right there, guys. So you're done now with the tightening of the chain, and then just the last thing would be is to just check every single bolt. Do it about every 300 miles. Just have the habit of doing that and making sure everything is nice and tight. In this case, I already done so, and everything is 100%. Alrighty, guys, so we have successfully completed here the maintenance / mods video on the Vitacci XMT 250. So far has been an excellent bike. There was just one time that I was at work, and for some weird reason, I think it had to do with the neutral switch, I wasn't properly on neutral, even though the bike was telling me that I was on neutral, and I wasn't able to start it for quite a while. But it was a little bit tricky because, again, the cluster was telling me that I was on neutral, and the bike was really not on neutral, so it was just cranking, and after figuring it out, I got it started and I was able to come home. But besides that, I haven't had no hiccups. Also, this is, like I said before, a counterbalance engine. It is super smooth on the road, and so far she has been great. Let me show you here briefly that in fact we do have almost 300 miles on here, and you can see it right there, guys. 292 miles on the odometer, and she has been great so far. I think it's a very good looking bike as well. With this being said, leave your comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, comment, and share, and click on the bell icon so that you don't miss future videos like this.